Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Layla and today I'm going to be going over my budget for May 2024. In these videos, I do like to set a goal for the upcoming month. So for May, we're going to continue the goals that I've been setting for the last few months, which is just continuing to save. I will be more specific though and say that I would like to save at least $2,000 toward my emergency fund. That's what I've been focusing on right now. I have finished a number of specific saving goals in Q1 of 2024. So now I've just moved on to emergency fund savings, general savings, and I'm just going to continue adding to that. So that's the only financial goal that I'm going to set for the month, and we can go ahead and go to my budget. But I do want to say, without going into great detail, that if you've never seen my budget videos before, if this is one of the first videos you're watching of mine, my budget may look different than other people's. I will try to explain as I go through everything. The reason it looks a little bit different is because I do have a full-time job, but I also have this small business where I am an S Corp, so I'm on payroll through my business. I'm the employer, but also the employee. So I will explain as I go through my spreadsheet. Okay, so this top left-hand corner is focused on my business revenue. These are my gross business revenue earnings, and I also pull in rollover business revenue. So that is just money that is left in my business checking account, and I do typically leave money in there just in case. I never really know what to expect for the month. Looking back at May 2023 and 2022, it looks like May is always one of my lowest earning months. Last year, I think it was $2,600 gross revenue. I can't remember the year before that, but because of that, I'm just going to stay on the low end where I'm probably going to get a minimum of $3,000 in my business. Ideally, it will be more. It probably will be more, but I like to be on the safe side. So putting $3,000 here. And then rollover business revenue, as I said, this is just funds that are left in my business checking account from the month prior. I'm expecting at least $1,000. I do think it will be more though, maybe closer to $1,300 or $1,200, but I'll stay on the low end so I can work with a smaller number. So $4,000 total. And then these are specific business expenses. First up would be payroll. So payroll to myself, and that is $2,000 at the moment. Next would be distributions that I take from my income, my business income, because there's this difference between taking payroll and a distribution. I'm not going to go into detail here, but this distribution comes to me. This is transferring from my business checking account to my personal checking account. I'm trying to keep it lower, so I'm going to go with $1,500 for May. Next would be actual business expenses, and I'm budgeting $250. I know that I have to pay for anti-spam and security on my blog, and that's like 200 something. I pay that every year. Well worth it. And then a couple of other things usually always come up. And then final thing here would be taxes. These are really payroll taxes, and that is going to be $219. Then if we scroll down to the bottom left-hand corner, these are my main expenses, but I am trying to pay for everything from my business payroll and distribution. So you'll see that distinction here. So I kind of already went over these numbers, but business payroll, I am going to pay myself $2,000 gross, take a $1,500 distribution. I will make extra income. I make extra income every month. That looks like credit card cash back. I use various apps and I get extra cash back from that. Sometimes I get referrals from credit cards that I share. So there will be something, but I'm leaving it blank for actual budgeting. And then from my sinking funds, I'm expecting to pull $1,635 from there. And that's actually coming from 3 different sinking funds, so I'll talk about it as I go through each of them. So yeah, with my business income, I like to try and pay for my main living expenses outside of savings. So first up is taxes. This is just money that I set aside for quarterly estimated tax payments, but also what I pay from payroll. So altogether, that will be about $680. After that is donate, that is $100. Purple section is for housing. So first up would just be for house and utilities. For May, it's a little bit lower, $1,109. This includes quite a few things. By the way, I do live with my boyfriend. We live in a house together. So this does include my portion of the mortgage, the HOA, Wi-Fi, gas, electric, water, and alarm system. Always forget one of them. After that would be household. This covers anything from like toilet paper to the garden and like yard work type things. So for May, I think it'll be lower, $75. I spent much more in the earlier months of 2024. Hopefully I don't go over this because yeah, I've just spent much more on the garden than I expected to. Orange section is for food. So first up would be groceries, keeping my budget at $400 there. And then food out, budgeting $75. Gas for my car, $85. I'm putting this a little bit higher because I'll probably be driving a little bit more, so I'll probably get gas 2 or 3 times and this should cover it. Next is health/beauty, and this is a big section. So I'm budgeting $1,800 here. The first $1,000 of this is for laser skin treatment. This is for my face. I'm going to pay for 3 treatments, which is going to cost $1,000. And that's like to help with the redness that I have in my skin. It's something I've wanted to do. I've already got a consultation for it and an appointment set up for May. After that, I'm paying $520. I hit my deductible for, I had a small medical procedure in April and I saw that it's going to cost me $520. So my deductible of $500 and a copay of $20. So $520 that I'll just go ahead and pay in May. And then I am getting a massage and that's like $140 plus a tip. And then after that, I'm probably going to switch to go back to a monthly membership with the guy that I see for massages because yeah, I think that makes sense. But this is where the $1,000 from my sinking funds comes in. The beauty sinking fund that I have will cover a portion of this. So the $1,000 from that will cover the laser treatment. Next would be the dogs, budgeting $180 here. That goes to my sister. We have 2 dogs together. Netflix, $23.48. Gym is still $39.99. Personal, oh, you know what? The gym might be more expensive because I'll have to pay the annual fee. I'm not sure though. I'll see. If it is, that's fine. This might be like $45 higher because of the annual fee. Personal, I am budgeting $50, going a little bit lower there. Car insurance, I think I have to pay this in May. I paid it last on November 30th. So I'm pretty sure I'll have to pay it by like May 30th, but I don't know the price yet and I'm assuming it's gonna jump up. I just put it at $700. It might be more than this, but I'll just wait and see. And this is where the $585 comes in that I'm pulling from my sinking funds. That will come from my car insurance sinking fund. Hopefully I can wait to pay until June so that I have more saved for that. And after this, I'm gonna have to bump. I've been putting $115 aside per month for my car insurance, but I think the rate's gonna be higher. So obviously a little short there, but that's fine, and I'll see what it ends up costing. With Progressive, they don't tell you what the amount is actually going to be until like a few days before your bill is due. So it's kind of annoying. After that is gifts for Mother's Day, or if anything else comes up, budgeting $50. And again, this is where my sinking fund, that $50 from my sinking fund, if I pay for a gift, I'll pull from that to cover it. Sometimes I don't though. Sometimes I just cash flow it and just, yeah, keep the savings in my gift sinking fund. After that, final thing is parking, and I'm just budgeting $10. I know that when I go to the dermatologist for the skin treatments, I have to pay for parking. That will probably be at least $6, and then I'll maybe go somewhere else that I have to pay for parking in May, but I have no idea. Just rounded it up to 10. So that's everything over on this side, and you can see that if you subtract my expenses from my total income, I am in the negative, but that doesn't really mean I will go into the negatives. There's always extra money for me to move around. I'm gonna have some extra income. I may take more of a distribution, so on and so forth. So I should be good. So let's go to the top right-hand corner, and over here, this is focusing on my work income. So I do have a full-time job. I am a Salesforce consultant, and from that, I make $5,880 gross. And with this money, I really just put it all to investing and savings. First up would be my 401k, and right now I'm doing 31% of my salary, so that is $1,822.80. And then of course I have to pay taxes, so that is $909.72. And then insurance. This includes medical, dental, and vision, my portion of it, which is $117.22. Now everything in the blue, these are various sinking funds that I have, or various savings accounts. First up, gift sinking fund, I always do $75. Car/car maintenance sinking fund, $350. Car insurance, like I said, I've been doing $115. After May, I'll probably bump this up to $125. Beauty sinking fund, gonna put nothing to that. Same with travel, $0. And then finally, My emergency fund is where I want to put the most, and that will be $2,000. And you can see that over here, if you subtract these expenses from this income, I am in the positive. So that's exactly like I'm earning income from both. So I'm able to cover things as needed in these categories. Sometimes people ask like, oh, if you don't have your full-time job, because the whole purpose of this, the reason I'm doing this is because someday soon I am going to be taking my business full-time, and I want to make sure that my business income can cover my main living expenses. And sometimes people ask like, oh, but won't you still need to be investing and saving for these various things? Yes, but no. It's not an absolute necessity for me to put $350 to my car and car maintenance sinking fund, for example. I also wouldn't be putting this additional to taxes. Instead of a 401k, I would contribute to a SEP IRA more than likely. And while I would love to be able to put this much to a SEP IRA when I take my business full time, when I first do that, that's probably not going to be possible. You know, like in the beginning, it may not be anything, or it could just be $50, $100 per month, that sort of thing. And then the other savings, I'll still be able to save a little bit because I'll figure it out, you know? So some of these things will be included when I take my business full-time, but at this point, my full-time job really is just for saving and investing, which has been really incredible. It has allowed me to reach a lot of my savings goals really quickly, so I'm grateful to be at this part in my journey. So that's what things are looking like for May. I am very excited about the month and just happy in general because obviously it's getting warmer and this is my favorite time of the year. I hope y'all have had an amazing April so far. Let me know what your goals are for May, anything big that you're expecting, anything exciting coming up for the month. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one.